Hello,
Hi, everyone.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
Great, thanks. Thanks for doing this.
Of course. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, I may have to leave early, so if don't think it's anything personal. I just fed my dog and I think she may have to go out soon.
No worries. My dog is sitting next to me and she's getting a little antsy. I can tell that she wants her dinner soon. Even though it's way too early.
I think they're still adjusting to time change.
Yeah, I think she's still really struggling with the time change.
Yep, mine too. How many people are you expecting?
We had about 20 sign up, but typically not everyone who signs up participates. So I would expect at least 10 of us.
Good.
We already have a good amount so far. So I'm gonna get started. So this call will be recorded. And my name is Madeline Buell. I am the National River Cleanup Manager at American Rivers. I've been with the organization for about 4 years and almost, I think it'll be 5 in May. And I am so excited to be here with all of you today. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. The purpose of our organizer discussions, which happen monthly, is to share ideas, ask questions, network, and learn more about how we can be more successful in our cleanup efforts. I want to first introduce Kristen Neves, who is on our call today. She is our Corporate Relations Fellow at American Rivers, and she'll be helping to support National River Cleanup. So yeah, Kristen, you can say hi.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to meet you.
So I have some stuff, but I wanted to, based on the organizer survey, someone had a tip that they really would love to use some of our organizer discussion time to go around the room and introduce everyone to each other, which I think is fantastic. So please, we'll start with Annette. I'm going to call on you because I know that you're probably right there, and have you introduce yourself, which group or cleanup organization you are with, and how large your event typically or events are, and where exactly you guys are located.
Sorry, it took me a second. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Annette Anderson. I am the volunteer event and canoe program coordinator for Friends of the Chicago River. So we cover 156 miles of the Chicago and Calumet rivers, almost 700 square miles of watershed. I've been with Friends about 5 years now, and I've been working with Madeline for a while. So I really do get a lot out of these calls. I always appreciate them. I organize a really large cleanup in the spring called Chicago River Day. And there is usually 60 to 70, sometimes more than 70 locations, some on the water with our boats and with partners boats, and some, majority of them on land. And that all happens the same day, second weekend in May. And then I do have cleanups throughout the year. So we go to forest reserves, city parks. We have our own litter-free toolkit where we're encouraging individuals to plan their own cleanups. And we do canoe and cleans from the water. I think we did about 10 last year, where we actually are, doing cleanups from the boats. So I think that covers it.
Great, thank you,
I could
Annette.
answer any questions. Nice to meet everybody.
Could we have Michelle Emmons from Willamette introduce yourself?
Sure, let's see if I can. My name is Michelle Emmons. I work with Willamette Riverkeeper in Oregon. I work throughout the Willamette Valley, all the way from the headwaters in Oak Ridge, Oregon, on up to the mouth of the river at the Columbia in the greater Portland area. And my job is to focus on the upper watershed programming, community engagement, and advocacy. A large part of that is running cleanups. I have 2 major events each year, one in the spring and one in the fall, where we engage between 500 and 1,200 people along the entire Willamette Basin in partnership with watershed councils, cities, and other nonprofit organizations. And we typically run between, I would say, 20 and 35 cleanups for each of those events. And then every month we also have an organized effort through our River Guardians program. And we feature a cleanup in major cities along the Willamette Basin, including Portland, Salem, Eugene, Springfield, and Corvallis, Albany areas.
Great, thank you, Michelle. Steve, do you want to go next?
Sure. Steve Jewett, I'm with National Cleanup Day. I actually don't do anything on cleanups except for personally. We rely entirely on people that are doing the work like you guys. And so the 3rd Saturday in September is National Cleanup Day. We do it in conjunction with World Cleanup Day, Ocean Conservancy, my cat right here, pretty much everywhere in the world. And then we also kind of repeat the same thing for Earth Day.
Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
Nick?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Nick Ingram. I'm with Valley Water in San Jose, California, with Santa Clara. We are we're a special district in Santa Clara County that supplies water to over 15 cities here in Santa Clara County. And I specifically coordinate our creek stewardship program, which consists of Adopt a Creek, which is sort of like adopt a spot, adopt a park, adopt a highway. Only we have about 294 miles of creeks within the county, and we adopt sections of those out to community members who host cleanups on their own time throughout the year. And then I also coordinate 2 large countywide cleanup events, one for National River Cleanup Day in May, and then another one for Coastal Cleanup Day in September. And typically for those, we're engaging anywhere between 1,000 and 2,000 volunteers throughout the county and clean 40 or 50 sites throughout the county. So yeah.
Thanks, Nick. Katie Luang. I butchered your last name. How do you say your last name?
Yeah, it's Leung.
Leung. Okay. I was
No
definitely very wrong.
No, it's all good. Yeah, so my name is Katie Leung. I am the volunteer and outreach coordinator for the Hudson River Keeper in New York. And I primarily manage the sweep event. That's our largest annual day of service. And it usually takes place the 1st Saturday of every May. So this upcoming one in 2023 will take place May 6th. For the sweep, we usually have over 120 different locations all spread out, New York City and the Hudson Valley, in which people can participate in either a cleanup, invasive species removal, or native tree planting. Usually we do get up to 2,000 volunteers each year. Last year we didn't reach that number, but hopefully this year with more outreach efforts from my team, we will be able to get back up there. But yeah, definitely excited for this coming sweep. Thanks all.
Sorry, thank you,
Mhm.
Katie. I'm just going around the boxes on my screen. Amy Phillips.
Hi, yeah, I'm gonna try to do with audio, but it's a little iffy. So if I have to, I'll shut my video off. But I'm Amy Phillips. I'm with the Conservation Foundation. We're in DuPage County, Illinois. So it's just west of Chicago. And I am just taking over this role. So my goals for today are to observe and learn what you all are doing.
Oh, thanks, Amy. I think you cut off a little bit because your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Maybe I'll just leave my video off. Sorry about that.
Yes. it
No,
seems-
I just said I'm with DuPage County.
Mhm.
Sorry. Oh, and then we just do reverse groups at Adopt a Stream.
Great, thanks. Susan?
Hi, everybody. My name is Susan Finzel, and I'm the outreach coordinator for a section of the Fountain Creek Watershed District in Southern Colorado. And ironically, I grew up in DuPage County, in Wheaton and Glen Ellen. So I've been out in Colorado for 35 years, but the Fountain Creek Watershed District runs north and south along the Front Range, basically from about Colorado Springs down to Pueblo, where it meets the Arkansas River and then flows east. And I'm recently hired on a grant to do public education and outreach. Our big flagship event is called Creek Week. It's 9 days, the last week of September, all across the watershed. And this past year, we recruited 2,500 volunteers over 50 miles of the watershed and removed close to 8 tons of debris, tires, litter, all sorts of stuff. And then we also participate in the Great American Cleanup in April. Of course, it's a 1 day, but along Creek Week, there's a lot of things happening besides litter cleanup. There's proclamations, there's recreational activities. I hosted a fishing derby for Boys and Girls Club kids. So trying to really reach out to the Pueblo area, which is 45 minutes south of Colorado Springs. But of course, Colorado Springs is a city of about 450,000 and Pueblo is about 120,000 people. Another project that we do that's really big is we're a special district, so we get federal money for doing stream bed improvement, huge $1 million projects to reduce erosion and plant native species in the watershed. And we also created the Brewshed Alliance, which links up over 25 microbrews and small to medium-sized craft breweries in the watershed to do education and outreach to their employees and then host public events, because clean water makes great beer. So we do monthly events at all these different breweries, and that's really meeting our 21 to 40-year-old demographic and getting them involved in environmental conservation.
Great. Thank you, Susan, for sharing. Martha?
Whoops. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, hi, everyone. This is really exciting. I'm with Friends of Buck Creek, which is a very small watershed group in Southwest Michigan. Buck Creek is only 20 miles long, but it runs into the Grand River, which is the longest river in Michigan. I am listening to everything you folks have accomplished, and you certainly give us something to aspire to. We have a cleanup every August. We usually get between 100 and 150 volunteers with about 7 sites. So we're still at kind of at the ground level. So I'm really excited about hearing what you folks are doing and how you're doing it. I've been taking notes like crazy. We do work with Trout Unlimited because our Buck Creek is a very rare urban trout stream. So we get a lot of support for them and some local watershed groups. That's pretty much it. Thanks for including me today.
Thanks, Marcia. Thank you for Martha. Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
Andrea?
Hi there. Sorry, I'm Andrea Stewart. I don't have a camera attached to this computer, so you'll just have to listen to my lovely voice. I'm part of the planning committee for the Christina River watershed cleanup. This April, actually April 22nd, Earth Day, we will be doing our 31st annual cleanup. And, you know, the Christina River watershed kind of encompasses most of northern Delaware, Newcastle County. The Christina flows out into the Delaware River that most people are familiar with, since it's, you know, connected to New Jersey as well. So we do a lot of different smaller streams in the Christina watershed for our cleanup. And we typically have about 750 volunteers annually. And usually we just do a single event, but we're also involved with, we're looking into other programs and getting more involved in maybe the coastal cleanup that happens in Delaware, you know, in September, and providing volunteers for that as well. But we pretty much focus on the Christina River and its tributaries and watershed, and have our volunteers working there. And I'm sorry I was late to join the meeting. I was at another meeting, so I missed whatever it was I was supposed to provide as far as information. I hope that I covered all the bases.
No, you definitely, yes, you covered everything. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Kaylin?
Hi, I'm with the Charles River Conservancy. So we work in the last 10 miles of the Charles River, which is like considered the urban Charles, as it is within greater Boston. So we do a lot of cleanup events. Mainly, I'm right now thinking about our big Earth Day cleanup, which we're just starting to think about planning. But we do smaller cleanup events throughout the season, working with like typically around 2,000 volunteers throughout the year. So
Awesome. Thank you, Kaylin. I do want to introduce Jane and Marie, who are from the Harpeth River Conservancy, which is actually where I started in the environmental nonprofit industry. And I actually had lunch with their executive director and three out of the four people in their family. I'm very close with all of them. So it's so nice to meet you, Marie, and Jane, who I've known for so long. It's so nice to see you. Do you guys want to introduce and share more about yourselves and the group?
Yeah, sure. I had no idea that you had so many connections. I'm glad I hopped on this call. I would have had no idea. My name is Marie. I've been with Harpeth Conservancy for about 4 months. And although, you know, my job title is outreach and communications, and generally I'm thinking about how we engage the public in our core work, which is policy and science related to watershed health. So I'm not new to environmental conservation. I am new to water. So I'm kind of on a steep learning curve trying to figure out, you know, what is the point of river cleanups? How do we do them strategically? How do we coordinate with the other organizations in our area that are regularly doing cleanups? How do we, you know, adopt certain areas of certain streams or creeks or rivers and steward them over several years instead of just doing one-off events? So that's what we're kind of thinking of. Jane can tell you a lot more detail about where exactly we work and the impact that we've had, because she's been doing it for much longer than me.
Hi, I'm Jane Polanski, and I have worked with the Conservancy probably since '04, when we created the first water trail in Tennessee, and that landed me a statewide position. So I've worked with different communities in the entire Southeast, primarily with the states bordering Tennessee, and developing water trails. If you guys haven't checked out the Tennessee Riverline Project, please do. It's an outstanding program along the Tennessee River. And the Harpeth Conservancy, we do a little bit of everything. We are a water science organization, so we're very concerned about water quality. We do a water quality testing program. predominantly in the Middle Tennessee area, and we're hoping to develop a modeling program that will be adopted by our state government Department of Environment and Conservation, and we'll be able to share that program with others across the state so they too can begin some water quality testing studies and use the modeling program to help people identify what the quality of water is in their region on a daily basis. We do corporate and volunteer cleanups, a little bit smaller than what some of you are doing, but the Harpeth River is about 125 miles. The other tributaries and waterways that we work on Middle Tennessee are anywhere from 40 to 100 miles in length. And we partner with a good number of people, including corporate groups, other watershed entities. As Marie was saying, we're really excited right now because in our region, so many people are doing river cleanups, and they have projects that are like, we're going to get 50 streams cleaned up by 2025. We're going to plant, 5,000 trees by 2025. And so we decided we're going to start removing invasive plants along our waterways and prepare those areas and those sites. We've also done some dam removals. We've been involved with rain gardens and revetment projects, as well as the water cleanups. And typically we get a lot of floods here in Tennessee. And so during the flood season, that's predominantly our heaviest time when we're out on the waterways, doing a lot of different cleanups. We typically have, scheduled anywhere from 4 to 10 cleanups every year. We bring in a good number of volunteers, over 100 volunteers, and we probably remove anywhere from just a few tons to a couple of tons, or a couple of tons to a few tons of trash. And that's pretty much who we are and what we do.
Thanks, Jane. Aletha, I don't know if I pronounced your name right. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. I am on the board of the Buffalo River Partners. Buffalo River is in Northwest Arkansas. It's the first national river in the country. And we just celebrated our 50th anniversary this year. We do 3 river cleanups a year, one in the spring, usually on Earth Day, one in June in the Middle River, and then one on National Public Lands Day in the fall. I've been doing those since 2007, and it's really enjoyable. Our river seems to be so much cleaner. People seem to be taking better care of it. We usually engage probably about 100 people a year or so in those cleanups. We also do invasive species pulls there, and it's just a lot of fun working with volunteers. I'd love more ways to recruit volunteers. I've worked pretty hard on that this year. So that's it.
Great, thank you. Jackie, I think you're the last person.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jackie. I actually wear 3 hats. Right now, I'm wearing my Cuyahoga Soil and Water Conservation District hat, and we do a lot of cleanups throughout Cuyahoga County. We have 4 watershed coordinators in our office of 15 people, and I do the education. So I do cleanups more as an educational tool. I also organize a river day for Friends of the Crooked River, which is our main stem watershed group for the Cuyahoga. And we did it for a long time, and then we passed it off for about 5 years or so. And just last year we took it back because the nonprofit that was doing it stopped, ended. And so we're picking that back up. And then the other thing I'm involved in is the Keel Haulers Canoe Club, which tries to either organize or help with some of the cleanups in the tri-state area where we paddle. So that's sort of me. And last year I did a lot of cleanup organization because we had a grant. So that's what we do. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, guys. I think it's always helpful to kind of learn where people are from and their background, and also getting to hear about the sides of their cleanups and their experience, because as you can tell, there are several people that have similar experience too, that I think can definitely connect in the future for certain things as they grow at different levels and locations. So today's this is primarily an open topic, but I did plan to share some project ideas that complement river cleanups and examples of successful anti-littering like projects and campaigns, which is a very large topic. And I realized that I probably should have used more specific language instead of that very broad anti-littering campaign that's massive. So that's afterthought. So some project ideas that I wish I had some pictures of are this one. Anacostia Riverkeeper Trey Sherrod, who was our guest speaker on last month's call, he shared this really cool trash, cool iron sign that they have installed in Washington DC, and it's like massive, and it says hashtag trash free DC, and that's the hashtag, and it's a permanent structure. And so I know some other groups have done similar like artwork projects. Maybe they've created a sculpture of the trash that they've collected, but the permanent or even a temporary sign of that scale was really cool. It's actually a really pretty picture. It's something I would go and take my picture and pose for at. So I definitely encourage you guys to check that out. It's hashtag trash free DC. And if you go Anacostia Riverkeeper, Washington, D.C., you'll be able to find a cool picture of it. So that's one thing. Obviously, that cost a lot of money. He was telling us that they had some grant funding, and others were the ones that built it. But it was a very cool project. If you guys want to learn more about it, I would definitely connect with Trey. Another thing is that I don't feel like we talk about much that could be complementary of cleanups is graffiti removal. So I know some groups are doing this specifically in Colorado, Arizona, some in California, especially on the public lands. But I know that coming from Philadelphia, graffiti is everywhere, and it is art at the same time. But there is the things that the graffiti removal projects that I know of that are working on them in the West is defacing a lot of the public lands and boulders and that kind of thing. And so that seems to be a really cool and unique way of attracting volunteers who obviously care about their community and what it looks like, but they may not be as connected to river cleanups. And so if you were to look into that, I definitely recommend talking to Nicole Corey from Natural Restorations, who has been doing this graffiti removal for 4 or 5 years. In addition, she does these massive cleanups that have couples 100 people, and she does them monthly, and they seem to they've been able to recruit volunteers through that and get them more acquainted with their rivers and cleanups themselves through the graffiti removal angle. And then another thing was, which I'm sure Jane and Marie are familiar with, the Jackalope Brewery had a free beer alert, and they would give you a pint of beer if you signed up to do a cleanup event. And then they had I don't know, it was 25 different breweries all across the country, all across the state of Tennessee that participated. And so I thought the partnering, I think some of you have spoken about partnering breweries. Just another cool idea of if you clean up your river, you get a free pint of beer. So, oh, and Nick, thank you for sharing. Nick sent the actual link to the Litter Letter project about the sign. And then also some cool stuff that's happening that I did want to make sure that people, I know many of you are on our Facebook, the Cleanup Organizers Facebook page, but as social media has evolved, less people are on Facebook. So I do want to continue showing some of the stuff that has been shared over the past few months, 6 months, I guess. So the first one is I was actually in Jacksonville, Florida, in October, I think, and they have these. Let's see if I can bring up the photo. They have these fishing line dispensers that are placed at like very big fishing spots, and you can use put your unused and broken fishing line in them, and then they have a volunteer that's actually responsible for emptying it. And I thought they were very cool things to do. Let me see if I can find the picture of it though. But I know that some groups like Glacier Peak Institute, they said that they've seen them around the Puget Sound area and have looked into installing them. And I've also heard that they're all over the rivers and lakes in New Jersey. And then the Boardman Rivers Clean Sweep Group, who is out of northwestern Michigan area, they actually have done it. It's about $50 to each to build one of those, build them. And the steel posts were like the most expensive part, they said, but they were able to get some old posts from the city of Traverse City, and so some of it was able, they didn't have to pay for some of the expenses. So groups have been doing them. I think that would be a really cool idea. You could obviously market it, put company's branding on it, and it could be a very passive way to help clean up those areas. And then the Sturgeon River Sweepers, they just installed, and I definitely want to show you guys this picture. They installed these mesh bags dispensers, and they've had them at, I think they have 4 so far, 3 on the Indian River. I'm going to share my screen right now. Let's see if I can expand this. So this is what they built it. It's just a wooden post. They have a little sign, and then they have the mesh bags right there. And I think this is another angle of them. So I thought that was really cool. They actually have community members, like nearby neighbors, that are going to restock and just keep an eye on them. And so just some cool ideas to do for like a passive way of getting people to clean up and pick up their trash at some of these public areas. Obviously, you have to go through the whole county public works or permitting process, but it's definitely a cool idea if you guys pursue that. And if you're looking for to learn more information, definitely reach out to the Boardman River Sweepers group. Who else did I mention? The Sturgeon River Sweepers, and I can connect you guys with them if you're interested. Let's see if I can get the fishing pole one too, because that was it was super cool. Okay, here you go. So they just like reused a piece of like PVC pipe, and they attached it to like a no parking sign post. So it was already there, which is easy. And then they just, I don't know, they welded it to the post, and then they put some signage on them. And there's a bottom cap at the bottom of it. And so you put fishing line down there, and then to remove the fishing line, I think you just remove the bottom cap, or you just stick your hand in there. So I thought that was really cool. They also had volunteers responsible for emptying them, and I heard they fill up really fast too. So it's definitely important to make sure you keep an eye on them. Any questions about the things I just shared right now, or anyone else have ideas or things that they've done similar to these little projects for the passive cleanup opportunities? Oh, cool. Wow, Susan, this is very cool. Is this a permanent structure?
I couldn't find my microphone. These are part of the Litter Letter project. Just wanted to show our word for this year, which was priceless. And specific groups adopt one letter, and it's a metal cage that's been made by an arts council group. And then the volunteer comes and picks up the letter in their truck, fills it with litter that they collect on their section of the creek, and then comes to America the Beautiful Park, which is in downtown Colorado Springs, in the shadow of Pikes Peak. And they have an word assembly day and a TV spot, and the news comes, and they put the letters together, and people then try to guess what the word is. And then they stay there for the month of October, which is after the cleanup, which is Arts Month. And it's just a tie-in to get more people that you were speaking about that are in the arts community. And then it comes down, the letters are collected like November 1st, and all the litter and debris is recycled or disposed of. And then the letters go into a big Parks Department warehouse. And then we try to make a new word using the same letters the next year. Or make, we have another letter made that can spell. We've done respect. The first, of course, word was litter 5 years ago, but we have respect, renew. It's very Scrabble-like, but that's it.
Very cool. Litter Letter project. I'm just looking at the comments. So there is a few people that have partnered with breweries. Do any of you that have partnered with breweries want to share your experience and how you went about that?
This is Michelle. I'll speak up. We did a Clean Water for Great Brews event for several years on Earth Day, which is now sort of our opening event for our Spring for Your River month-long series of cleanups starting on Earth Day. And we just talked to different brewery owners and explained our organization's mission for clean water, and they use water in the brewing process. And so we worked with them to sponsor a punch card that participating volunteers on that particular day would receive after cleaning up, and it would allow them to get one free drink at every coffee house or brewery after they participated. It's just really a matter of like calling up the breweries or coffee houses and asking them to participate. It's a really easy ask, and we've also received additional sponsorship money and donations for our organization.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Michelle.
This is Susan in Colorado. Along those same lines with our breweries that are in the Brewshed Alliance, we have a big event during Creek Week. It's called the Clean and Crawl, and volunteers or any of the public can buy a ticket to the Clean and Crawl, which is usually like $30. And we set up a walking tour of breweries that are in downtown. And there's usually a theme at each brewery, and somebody speaks for 15 minutes. People get to have a beer for that ticket. They get a hat, and then they walk to the next brewery while they're picking up cigarette butts. And then they talk to people on the sidewalk. It's usually on a Saturday afternoon, and people say, "What are you doing?" And we're like, "We're keeping the cigarette butts, #1 littered item by weight in the United States, out of the storm drains. Here's the storm drain. Do you know that your butt goes in there? Don't put your butt in the storm drain." And it's just funny. And then by the end, of course, maybe people are inebriated, and then we have like a van that can drive them home or whatever. But it usually sells out like 50 people buy these tickets to do this, and then they get to sample beers, and then the breweries make a beer with a theme, like a trout ale or something like that. And it's cool.
Very cool. Thank you, Susan. I know we only have a few minutes left. I did some looking about like updates on looking at the anti-litter campaigns, ones that are happening in action. And I did see that Pennsylvania created a litter action plan with the goal of reducing Pennsylvania's litter by 30% over the next 5 years. So I'm definitely interested in seeing the results of those and also the impact. I'll have to dive in more, but Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful is very involved, and they have this Young Ambassadors program. And so I'm very curious to see, maybe I'll even talk to one of them to see how it's working so far. And then I also saw that Washington State, they changed some of their messaging for their anti-littering campaign. I know that they've used humor too in the past, litter messaging, and they put it on signage, and they found that, and this is them, they found that litter dropped 25% in 2 years. So I don't know if anyone is, I know that Michelle, you're in Oregon, but have you heard anything about Washington State's anti-littering campaigning, or even Oregon, what they're doing?
I don't have anything to report on my end as far as Oregon's concerned.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share what their state might be doing, or county locally, about anti-littering?
Yeah, hello, sir. Hello, ma'am.
Hi, can you hear us?
Yes, my name is Suleiman Dawa. I am from the Gambia.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to see you too. I form an organization called Alliance to End Plastic Waste, the Gambia, that is found in the Gambia here. Yeah, our main concentration is on cleaning the ozone, to free the ozone from plastics. And we have done series of plastic cleanups. And this Saturday coming, we'll be having a national cleanup, both in the ozone site and the community. And the central government is supporting only the major cities in the area, and they are going to be providing them with materials to facilitate the cleanups. But the surrounding villages are not having facilities and other stuff. So our organization is supporting them with the materials, hand gloves, hand sanitizer, and transport that we have received from an organization called International Coastal Cleanup. I think you have heard about it. So they support us with some materials, but they are not sufficient. And we would like to have more, a partner so that we can get more resources, because Gambia here, we have a lot of plastic that are dumped in the community, but we don't have the plastic resources, materials that we can use to help the community members so that they can engage in these cleanups. So I would like, if there's any way or any chance that we can get that support for any organization.
Yes, so I know that I'm not really on the international I guess, conversations that are happening since we are a United States-based organization. But I know that there are worldwide campaigns that are going on, and I would even connect with Literati, who has a lot of connections internationally, that might be able to point you at least in the right direction for what groups and local groups are doing. Maybe closer to you. As for resources, we have a lot on our website that I don't know if all of them would be applicable to what you guys are doing, because it's just based on like county and permitting and stuff that typically happens in the United States that I'm not sure is the same process where you guys are. But I am happy to connect you with anyone at Literati, or even also share the resources that we have on our website to assist you at least on getting things off the ground. But it's great to hear that you have your government support. And yeah. Okay, I think we are at time, so I apologize for does anyone, I guess, any last lingering questions that you want to talk about before we sign off?
Can you please share me the link, the email address of that This organization, this one that you are
Yes.
talking about.
I can definitely do that.
Okay. I'll just send my email address in the chat group, or you can just send it to me. Then let me get it.
I think I have your email. Yes.
Thank you.
I just put something in the chat if anybody wants to see our litter pledge. They sign the litter pledge and I put the link to get to it, and then they get a little point of decision, a reminder bag that says, you know, stow it, don't throw it for the car.
Ew.
Steve Jewett, where are you from?
I live in San Diego.
Okay, and what's the name of your organization again?
So I work with several different organizations. We're the founders of Clean Trails, and then we run the National Cleanup Day program in the United States. One of the things that we don't do is any cleanups ourselves directly. So any cleanups that I participate in are always done with a local organization. We don't want to compete with, River Keepers and, Keep America Beautiful. We also are the country leader for World Cleanup Day, which is held in conjunction with the coastal cleanup. And then we also help run the program for cleanups for Earth Day.
Wow, okay.
So we kind of do cleanups, a big, a vertical of cleanups, so to speak.
Got it. Thanks. Thanks for hosting, Madeline.
Thank you. Reminder, submit your cleanup results if you haven't before the end of the year. I think I'm missing a lot of October people's data. And then also our next cleanup organizer discussion is December 28th, I think. And then photo contest is on hold. It's our 50th anniversary next year. And so we are trying to see if we can integrate the National River Cleanup photo contest that happens every year into maybe one that's larger as a part of the organization and have like a National River Cleanup category or something like that. So we're still internally in talks. I probably shared way too much information about that, but that is probably not official. But it is still kind of in talks, and hopefully I'll have more information for you guys at the end of the year on what that looks like. Great. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your week, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye now.